Alright, so I'm back here after I did a walk, went and rode my dirt bike a little bit back and forth, um, drank some water. A few things. I'm gonna try recording this without the headset on because it's kind of awkward anyway. Um, so I need to do some stretching probably still, but now I want to get by the end of tonight. I want to actually have something that actually responds somehow to input, where you're actually well, let me rephrase that. I want to actually have all the components set up, the columns in the tableau and the stockpile and the foundations. I want to actually have those things in place if possible. That might be wishful thinking. I would like to have those things in place, and then the mechanisms to actually manipulate the data and what have you, to manipulate what they represent. So I need to remember where I was. I had generated, so I'd created this. This is dubious to me, kind of how I have this set up, data display, and how it owns the columns and everything. I don't know if that's the best way, I don't know, semantically to state this, but I'm just going to roll with it until it becomes untenable. And then maybe at that point it'll reveal itself. It'll reveal what I should do. So the whole purpose of doing this was that I get access, that by doing it in this way, through each of these properties, I have access to a node list that includes each of the spaces that's inside of them, and each one of them has 19 because I decided just through some through the description of how solitaire works, that 19 was the most that it seems could possibly be in one, which is derived from the the seventh column, which starts with 7 cards in it. And if that card happened to be a king, and somehow you built the other 12 cards on top of it, aces go up into foundation. So an ace wouldn't go there, so it'd be 12 cards to finish off that suit in descending order. So 12 plus the 7 that were already there. It seems like 19 could be the most that could go there. And so that's how I came up on that. There may be some, that may be off here and there because, oh, well, you could never have this or that. So it would only ever be, but whatever. It's just to protect against out of array bounds situations. So I got these built. What I want to make now is a mapping between Tableau, the data object, the Tableau, the actual data Tableau, because this is, whether, I want this game to be kind of data only, not like graphics, not graphical necessarily, to represent the data. You're still going to have to put something on screen just to represent that data. Even if we were doing this, like say in the console, you're going to have to do a print statement or something to output that data. So I'm now going to link into the data model, so to speak, into Tableau, and have it be represented when the cards are dealt. Have it be represented. Have it be represented on screen, so that I actually see, basically, this or whatever on screen. So to do that, what I'm thinking right now, we really need Um, Not necessarily, this isn't a real-time game. It's, turn-based. However, whenever there's a change, we need some way to trigger the data on screen to actually be refreshed. And that's going to be key to actually getting this to display up there. I'm going to do a quick, because I'm still getting this printed out, and I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from. I'm going to do a quick search and find console statements. Oh, okay, that's where it's coming from. It's coming out of there. That's where that's coming from. That should get rid of that. And then I know this is coming from here. I'm printing out that. Okay. Now, where is a logical place? Where is a logical place for me to do this refresh? This starts to get into the actual program flow and what have you. When we start the game, when the page loads, the first thing we do is we create a deck and we create a tableau. We create the table of columns and everything, and we deal the cards. I don't want the data model to be intrinsically tied to the display. I want the display to be a separate module. So the display, accordingly, basically, the next thing we do after we deal the cards is we generate a new display. Okay. Which creates its own data model, which creates its own structure. It creates the columns, and it creates those nodes, the spaces inside of them, the 19. This is an ideal place for a method. This is an ideal place for an actual method that refreshes the view. So what I'm going to do is inside data display, I'm going to give myself a comment here that kind of distinguishes, because I'm going to need to start being a little bit more organizationally clear as to what's going on here, because this is going to start to become untenable if it doesn't start to make some more sense. I'm going to come in here and say display object, display class, handle display concerns here. And then I'm going to demarc where that starts and ends, end display class. I'm going to do that way. Okay. So that just starts to kind of give us some organization with a semblance of some organization. Doesn't really do much. All right. I literally only do this stuff just for time to think. All right. All right. So the end of this function, class, whatever is there. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to create a method. This dot, let's say refresh, equals function. And what I want it to do, this is where I'm going to tie in Tableau is a global, if I'm not mistaken. It should be. Yeah, Tableau is up here, so I have access to it. I'm gonna do, I need to verify this, the whole JavaScript's whole thing with pass by reference and everything. JS pass by is JavaScript. How does it pass by value? But when a variable refers to an object, so reference. Okay. I would like this from the CMDN. Let's just make sure. Primitive parameters are passed by value, i.e. the value is passed to the function. But if a function changes the value of the parameter, it's not reflected globally or in the calling function. It's passed by reference. If you pass an object, that change is visible. Okay, so objects are passed by reference. So I was thinking about possibly passing in Tableau, but since it's global, I don't even have to. But I wanted to know that for future reference. Okay, so what I'm going to do, since I have access to Tableau, what I can do now is I can tie into, now, this is what I need to make sure of. The this keyword, if I'm in a method, what does this refer to? What I'm going to do is I'm going to say console.log. I'm just going to say this. And I'm going to see what that does. I'm going to come back up here, create a new data display, and then I'm going to say dd dot refresh. Invalid left hand side expression in prefix operation. Oh, blimey. Did I do that again down here? I did. Okay. This actually logs data display. Okay, so cool. That means when I'm in a function that's inside, when I'm in a method that's inside of a class, or which is, you know, a function, I'm still, what I was concerned about is, would this now refer to this function, or does it reach outside of there and refer to the entire object? It appears it does, because it printed out data display. Great. So now what I'm going to do, I need to reach out and get Tableau. And I need to take Tableau's data, which more or less, Tableau is 7 columns of 19, it's 7 columns of 19 rows, let's say. And so is the data display. So what I need to do now is to map those onto each other, or map Tableau onto data display. So what I'm going to do, this may be an opportunity where I can use for each, so that I don't get into a bunch of weird iterators. So let's try again. I've failed every time I've tried to use for each. Well, I've not failed, is simply haven't fleshed it out. So let's see. For var C, what am I using C for? Var for each thing in there. What are each of these things for each? I'm using C because I'm thinking of card. For each card in Tableau, no, for each column in Tableau, because this is two-dimensional. For each column in Tableau, in that column, for each card in that column. Thinking that I don't know if I have to use var or not. I'm trying to pull these things from memory to try to strengthen it. They say that retrieval helps you understand, because I haven't used this. I haven't written JavaScript like this in probably 8 months or so, and even then I was just learning it. So I'm gonna probably have to go W3 it. I love how I've made that a verb now. W3 school. Okay, for each column, and then for each card in that column, and we're in Tableau. I want to then take that and somehow map it to the equivalent column and space in data display. Now, that's where I run into a challenge, because right now, data display, these are a bunch of separate properties. Each of them is an element, and they must necessarily be so, because they're actually shown up on screen. Now, what I could do is I could put them in an array. I could create an array of these elements rather than having them each be, because I could still access them. And it may even be, that may be the way, see, the walk and everything clears up the mind. That may be the way that I get rid of all of this ridiculousness. Because if I make this an array of elements, I can then use iterators. I can just make this all one, like this outer loop can just be the outer index, the column index, and then the inner one can be the, I can just do that way. If I just make this an array of elements, which mentally I was foggy before. So how would I do that? Because if I do that this way, I'm already seeing that I'm getting ready to end up doing this again. You know, which would be fine, but it's just unnecessary lines of code. Which, who cares? Just makes it unnecessarily complex. All right, so rather than just talking, let me get to re-implement. Let me refactor this. This is basically just going to be I'm just going to call it var tableau display. To distinguish it, equals new array with 7 locations, and then I'm going to say for I think I can do it. Let's go ahead and try this. The for each for tableau display dot keys returns a new array iterator that contains the keys for each index in the array. All right, for each key for var I in tableau display dot keys tableau display at the index of I becomes a new array with 19 locations. I think that's the way you do that with the keys. Let's just go ahead and W3 it. How do you use for each? There's much tension in my back and like shoulders. Let's see. It's killing me. It's making me so uncomfortable. For in. For the for in. All right, let's see. That's for in. What else? For what do they call it? Do they call it a for each? JS for each. Am I thinking about Java? I'm thinking about Java. It doesn't even use that notation. JavaScript doesn't use that notation. That's true. The for of, what about for in? For in moves through the properties. Person equals that. Okay. So that was what I was thinking about before. How I could get those properties. Okay. Through the values of an iterable. So it's the for of. Loops through the values of iterable objects for variable of iterable. Okay. Let's say JS for of keys for of, maybe there was no way to do this, iterator. Let's see. For element of array. And if I need let's go back to W3 and see array methods. And see what keys actually gives you. Keys returns an array iteration containing the keys of the original array. equals fruits.keys. So keys is a method. It's not a, okay. Negative. Oh. Okay, let's do this. So maybe I can't use that. Maybe that's why I don't know. Because this notation here is Java. I keep mixing the two together. Let's do this once real quick. I keep mixing these two together. I keep mixing Java and JavaScript together. All right, let's come back up here. Get rid of, let's just comment that out. Okay. I'm gonna do this real quick. When that gets called, I'm gonna have it spit out console.log tableau display dot keys, and just see what that actually spits out. Array iterator. Length is 0. Okay. Because there's nothing in it. If I were to put something in it, let's see. Tableau display, let's just use literal. How do I do literal? Is it, I do it like this, right? Hey, there, you, how do you declare an array literal? Come on. var tableau display. Boom, boom, boom. Would have expected it to spit out something. So is it saying that there's nothing in there? What is that? What does that even mean? What does it see? Tableau display keys. So it's just an array iterator. So if I were to do, I was trying to see what it returns. So an array iterator is an object. Okay, fine. But how would I use it? Like, see, this is a rabbit hole. So if I were to say for x of tableau display dot keys, or to say what console dot log x, what would that do? Okay, so x is the keys then. So I actually can do it that way. Okay, so I actually can do it that way. All right, so array with 7 spaces. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say for columns, I'm gonna use the var keyword just because it feels right. Of for each column in tableau display dot keys. I'm gonna have it just log console dot log calls. Let's just see if that does what I think it does. It should log 0 through 7. Yeah, 0 through 6. Yeah, okay. So those are the actual columns. Sweet. So now for var cards of calls. Okay, wait, no. Of tableau display at the index of calls. This should be singular. Call that column for var card of tableau display at the index of column. Then I want it to say tableau display. Okay. Wait. Okay, no. Each one of these, it's a column, and it will be a column in tableau display. And each one of these will be a space in there. Okay, so I use card. This is actually just the spaces right now. So I just use space equals new array with 19 locations. Okay, I could go ahead and use this to do more or less what I was doing in there. This is ridiculous how short this will be if this works. There's no freaking way. I must have been really tired. Oh my goodness. This is no, okay, let's see. We've already generated this. We already generated that. Create element div. If I can do just this in here, how would I do that? I could just do, okay, well, the challenge that I have now is that I'm just creating an array. Wait, no. Okay, right now all I'm doing is creating an array. All I'm doing is creating an array. I need an array of, I need a two-dimensional array of elements because these actually have to be something. So each column actually needs to be, yeah, I need each column to actually be an element. Because I'm actually displaying stuff. So what I want to do is I want to put my element. So I need to do here. Yeah. Okay, so right now I'm just initializing this. I'm just initializing the array. Okay. That's right. The actual rows, okay, the columns are what need to, as is here, the columns are what need to be actual elements. The spaces, they don't exist in, say, there can be an array that holds these columns that are elements, but the array that actually holds the cards is the node list. It's a child element of this. And so what I need to do is I'm going to generate, I don't need a two-dimensional array. That's the thing. I don't need a two-dimensional array. I will, for all intents, I will already have one because I don't even need this. All I need is an array with 7. Yeah, I don't even need that. Tableau display is just an array. And what I would do, I can actually keep this, because what I would do is I would just come here and the keys of Tableau display. I got sidetracked there just trying to use for each. In Tableau display, what I'll do now is just say Tableau display at the index of column becomes a it becomes a model call dot clone node. I do that, and it basically becomes this. And so now that eliminates these. That's all. That eliminates these. I'm just going to comment this out. Okay, that eliminates these. Now, the next piece is to eliminate this in another loop, which will, and I'm sure this could be separated off into a function, in another for of, which then goes through each of, because now when I use the for of will actually return. So for again var column, though it will mean something else this time, of I can use now, because Tableau display actually has something in it, for each column of Tableau display, which is to say for each element, for each div in Tableau display. Right now I'm going to populate it and have it say for each of those I want to, okay, I need to access now. I need to create an element, which I have an element here. I can move this up. Honestly, I'm just going to do it there just so the flow is right. I've created this element. This is going to be the paragraph element. What I'm going to do now is inside here, I'm going to, I can now take this and I can take column and append to it. I'm basically doing this, new space, clone node. Yeah. But I need to do it 19 times. Okay. So I can just put one of these inside of there. And I can do that once. So really I can just do this. I can do this. Yep, I can do that. So it'll put 19 of those inside it. And then I'll do this. and append call. And that then takes the place of all of this, which this was so much repetition anyway that, you know, I mean, it seemed like a big savings or whatever, but it was just a bunch of repetition, which is the case for most of what I've done when I've done all those switch statements or whatever. But I'm just grinding, just trying to make something work. All right, so what happens here when data display gets called? It creates this model element, which is a column. It then generates an array. With 7 spaces. It then goes inside of there and puts at each index one of these, one of the actual divs. It then generates a paragraph element, gives it a class name, and then goes inside and gets each one of these divs, and inside of it, it appends 19 of these spaces inside it, and it then appends that to the actual document. So what should happen when I hit refresh here is nothing should change. Note though that we've commented out the original code that did that. So what it'll mean is that this is literally taking the place of all that, and we could delete it. Am I doing anything else? Any sort of test stuff? All right, I'm gonna save this and then come over here and refresh it, and nothing changed, which means it worked. Okay, so I can literally get rid of this, and I can get rid of this monstrosity. Crazy. You see, you have to have a fresh mind, because I was tired to the extent. Look at data display went from like what, 60 lines. I don't know how many lines that was. It's crazy. I have to have a clear head. Okay, so now we're down to refresh, and we actually have a well-structured. Let me save quickly and refresh this and make sure it still works. It's still the same. We go into here, make sure we're still getting what we expect. Yeah, still the same. Okay, I can actually go up there and delete that comment now. All this, I like having it there because I can, for right now, just because I can go and uncomment it and get a view of what I was thinking. I'm afraid to delete it. It would be hubris to get rid of it, and then, oh crap, you know, whatever. Ooh, something else that's hubris is I'm not actually pushing this up to GitHub. I haven't done that in a minute. Let's open GitHub. There's actually a lot of changes because I haven't done it since I think the first. It must have updated. I haven't done it since the first session. So this last 40 minutes has ended up just being an enormous refactor, which matters because it made the code more organized. I need like a massage of some sort. My neck is killing me. All right. Oh, the problem that we have is that I'm not actually working in the repository, which I need to change that. So I'm gonna come into the terminal and go into documents, and where I am, okay, I want to what's the name of this repo? Solitude. what's in there, causation. What I want to do is I want to move here to there. It would probably be safer. It would probably be safer to just do it in the graphical. But alright, and that gives me all my updates. And so what I'm going to do now is change my folder and go to actually work in the repo so that the changes get registered. Documents, GitHub, solitude, open. Alright, and get back to where I was. So now I can give a quick description, which is building data display. Let's say I am mapping data model onto HTML. I like typing in all lowercase. I don't know why. Mapping data model onto HTML. Card deck generated, cards shuffled, Tableau generated, Tableau, let's say data model generated, corresponding Tableau display generated. Alright. In process of. Alright, let's commit that. And it'll actually be saved somewhere outside of this computer. Alright. Okay, so our refresh function. This is where we actually make use of it. Now, Tableau, the data model. Oh, I need to reopen my live session there. Okay. Tableau, the data model of Tableau now more or less mirrors in terms of me being able to access it in the same way, because they're both more or less the same thing. Now they're both arrays, even though when we're talking about the data display array of Tableau, it's actually elements. I can access them in the same way. Okay. So now I need to do that. So I have access to Tableau. Okay. I have access to Tableau. So what I'm going to do, anytime it's refreshed, what I want to do is I want to have a loop that looks through each column in Tableau, the data model Tableau, and looks at each index. And as it finds the index in a column, it writes the values from the properties of the card object that's at that location. Because in Tableau, the data model, let me quickly print out let me quickly print out Tableau real quick. I had a test in here that prints Tableau. It's uncommented. I just hit refresh on the wrong page. Okay. So Tableau, what's inside of Tableau is cards. So at this index is a card with these properties. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is accessing in turn each of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this for of, which I'm glad I finally figured out how to use it, because I can make great use of that now, for column of Tableau, the data model Tableau, which is an array. Okay, each column of Tableau, the data model, is an array, right? So for each array in each column, I want to now look within each column and say for each card. Now that's legit. I'm going to say var C because I don't want to use the word card, because I think I can do that. For each card, yeah, I can say that because it's local. For each card in column now, because this has access to this because it's inside of its scope. For each card of column, I want to okay. I need to modify the card class to make it easier to deal with. Because right now I have words like clubs, queen. I'm going to have to make a mapping. I'm going to have to say case, like do a switch and say, if it's a club, then use this symbol. If it's a queen, then use the letter Q. I'm just going to go ahead and fix that by coming to where I generated the suits. Oh, Christ, Jesus. There's not too many of them. There's not too many of them. There's not too many of them. Okay. So here, I get to use my my little comment. Let's go back up and find it. I need to make a copy of it further down. I copy it and come back down. Alright, so hearts will be this. Diamantes will be eso. Clubs will be this. And then spades will be this. Alright. Now, ace will get shortened to A. King will be K. Queen will be Q. And Jack will be J. Okay. And that simplifies that. I can save that. I can come back in here and refresh. And it should have changed it to that, yeah. And so it's that way now. All right, so now what I can do is back up here and refresh. I can directly map now. So for each card. I'm now looking at the card in column. I need keys, I think. I need keys. I'm iterating over. I need to be in parallel. Wherever I am in Tableau, the data model, I need to be in Tableau, the display. Tableau, the display. So var call of. So right now I have. I can manually deal with Tableau, the display. It's just no way. I can manually deal with that. I can manually do this. The way I might do that is I might say var var local I equals 0. Var local j. Just give myself 2 iterators. I don't know what these, if this will work the way I'm thinking, but right now both of them are 0. Just to give myself, oh, I don't need the local. Okay. Okay. Just to give myself a couple of iterators. And I can manually say Tableau. I can manually say let's distinguish this by saying data column, data card, no, and then saying display let's do this for display is an empty object. I don't know how to do that. Display card. I don't know how to do this because I just want to give me something that I can. I don't even know if I can do that. I don't even know if I can do that. I'm going to say display column equals Tableau display at the index of I. Okay, and then do the equivalent here and say display card at the index of display column J. That's going to get complicated real quick. After this runs, then I increment display column. And then I'll do my thing, whatever I'm doing, and then I'll increment increment display card. Whatever I need to do has to go between here. Well, no, wait a minute. I can't do that. This would need to be, no, I would need to manipulate, I would need to do this outside of this because it would get reset every time. I would need to do this. Everything I need to do. Display card equals 0. That would have to happen after this is over. So I would do everything that I need to do. I'm gonna pause for a second and go eat something. All right, so dinner has been conquered. I got my favorite after dinner snack. I ordered this from Amazon because I can never find these. It's a box of 36. I can never find these in the store. I started buying the bag of like bites, and it's like supposed to be chunks of these. The problem is the bags contain just way too many fragments and like powder. There are only so many bites, and so I just ordered a pack of the bars, and of course Promised Land milk. It's Thanksgiving holiday, so I've eaten cookies. I'm gonna try not to put on any weight. As we go back to work, I'll go back into my normal routine and start counting calories to try to keep everything under control. Oh yeah. Okay. Where was I? I was adding.
Why? Who did that?
Okay. So, the refresh function will declare these two because I'm having to manually, because I'm iterating over one with the for of, and they're not exactly the same thing. They have kind of the same structure, but they're not the same thing because the data tableau, the data model tableau, is actually in a two-dimensional array. So I can just get it, boom, the outer index, boom, the inner index. However, the display tableau is actually an array of HTML elements. And then what I'm doing is I'm going to access the node list of their children. So it's kind of the same thing in that, you know, it's an array of arrays, but it's more like an array and an array of objects, and inside one of those objects there is an array. So I have to, as I see it right now, I'm sure there's some feature or whatnot that I'm missing that would make this really simple, but I'm a caveman, and so I do everything really weirdly and struggle a lot. But that's what makes it that's not what makes it fun. It sucks. All right, let's see. So inside here, in the column of Tableau data, and I'm creating a mapping between Tableau display. So this object, this element, okay, for the card that's in data column, for the card that's in the data column, what I want to do is in tableau display, I want to say tableau display. Oh, because I just saved that. I just saved that in display column. I can say display column dot. Now this is the HTML element. Dot child dot child nodes. Okay. I'm going to have to iterate. I'm going to have to iterate over these child nodes. I need another. This is where I can use J. Oh, okay. That's why I created J. That's why I created I and J. I need to iterate over I and J. So inside here, for each column of the data tableau, let's just ignore this right now. For each column of the data tableau, I'm now looking at each card inside of that column. Okay. Well, okay. The challenge becomes, I need to go through here. Okay. I need to go through here and make some sort of a mapping real quick of these child nodes. I know that there's 19 of them. I know that there's 19 of them. How can I do that? Okay. Wait. Okay. Because what's happening here is I'm only getting one. Maybe I need to restructure this to allow me to get at. There's too many. This okay. Okay, data card. I'm only getting one data card right now. All right, this starts to get confusing. I'm only getting one data card right now. One card from the data column of the data tableau. I'm only getting one. While I have access to this, I need some sort of an iterator. Well, if I can create some sort of an iterator, so I can use I, because this is going to go through this loop. Okay, this internal loop is going to go through all 19, and there's 19 in both of them. Okay, so I can say child nodes at the index, child nodes at the index of I, let's say. Okay. Becomes what I want to do, child node at the index of I, dot inner inner text equals the data card dot suit plus data card dot value. Okay, done. Psych. It's never done. Okay. What am I thinking here with this display card? This is going to go through all 19 of those. What was I even going to use display card for? I don't remember. Let's get rid of it because it seems irrelevant right now. I'm going to increment I. Okay. Or do I need to be using J? Yeah, I'm going to use J in here because I'm using I out there. So what happens here? I0, J0, ignore that for each column in data tableau, and then for each card in that column, we're going to get display column. Okay, that's what I did here. I just set tableau display. Okay, to a column. So that means I need to increment this. I don't know. I haven't used display card. Need to increment I. Okay. I'm just using what I'm seeing here because I'm lost. I stopped to eat and I lost my train of thought, so I have no idea what I was trying to do here. All right, for each data column, for each column of Tableau, I'm going to set the display column to Tableau display. At the index of I, so this is getting the first column of the display Tableau, and then for each card in the data tab, in that column of data Tableau, I want to take the actual element and the actual child node and set it to what was in data card, that object, which is a card object. I want to set it to that value. Okay, J is going to iterate, and this is going to go through because there's 19 data cards in the data column of data Tableau, and there's 19 child nodes in here, so it's going to iterate through all of those. When it breaks out, it's going to increment I, and it's going to increment. Okay, I don't need to increment display column. All I need to do is increment I, because display column is actually that. So I gets incremented. It comes around here for data column of Tableau. Display column is that object. So I has now gone to the next column. I'm going to drop in here, iterate through that. So display card, this can go away. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to say new object. I don't know what that, because I'm just going to make that a blank object. Just to have it initialized so that it can pick up this. All right. So this should, okay, do I need to reset this at any point? Yes, I'm going to need to reset J. Each time we fall out, J needs to go back to 0. It needs to be refreshed. And then we run back through it. Okay, that should load up. I'm kind of lost, but it makes more sense now. Let's go test this. Okay, what printed out? What am I actually printing? What got printed out? Because this should have changed. And it didn't. Where's their console.log? I'm logging Tableau, which is the way it's supposed to be. Let's log okay, wait a minute. Let's log, okay, Tableau display. Where does this actually get built? Okay, I would have imagined that it was actually changing. Let's go back to the elements. Let's go back to the elements and see what happened. There's no text in them. Okay, I'm thinking my problem may be in here. Let's try something. We'll say console.log data. Let's make sure I'm getting value. Let's see if I'm actually getting what I think I'm getting. No, I'm not getting anything. Oh, wait. Did I actually call refresh?
It was so much easier. Even though my class didn't have a break, another class having a break helped me a lot.
I construct data display. And I log Tableau. Oh, I never call. I don't want to log Tableau anymore. I never call. Data, so I'm going to say dd.refresh. Let's come back down here and comment this out real quick. Let's see. Cannot read property, suit of undefined. Okay. So data card, this isn't working. For data call of Tableau. Okay. Let's see if I can console.log Tableau. No, data call to see if it's actually getting anything. Okay, it actually got the first thing. Okay, and then for var data card of data call. Console. Oh. Okay. I see what's happening. The rest of them are empty. That's null. They're undefined. Everything else after that first thing. Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that it printed as 6. Okay. So it's working. It's that the rest of them are undefined and I'm attempting to access them. So what I need to do is just wrap this if data card is not equal to can I use undefined? Is that a keyword? Can I actually do that? I always say null. That's something I actually need to just once and for all put a space. What would you look at there? Okay. That worked. We immediately see something though that we need to take care of, and that's that the cards that aren't, we need to use our face up and face down attribute, okay, to actually have it. All these that are face down, they need to be hidden. Okay. Something I wanted to check real quick. I need to know. JS undefined versus null. Undefined is a type, whereas null is an object. It means a variable declared, but no value has been assigned a value. Whereas null is an assignment. You can assign it to a variable. Okay. I want to try something. Can I do this? Can I just declare something and just leave it? Does that equal undefined? I guess so. Cool. Let's refresh this a few times. It changes each time. This is really cool. I just wanted to see if there was some weird condition that would cause it to crash or something. That maybe still. Okay. So now, if data card is not undefined, then we come in here if data card dot is face up. We want to put this in there. Otherwise, we want this. Cool. Okay. So we've gotten an on-screen representation, which that's really cool. And these are our available cards right now. Is there any play that we could make? Something I actually want to do is it would be cool to give a visual representation of the color of a suit, to paint the diamonds and the hearts red. Let's see what we have here. Got a jack, 4, king, heart, club, spades. Is there any play you could actually make there? Per the rules, no, I don't think there is. So you would have to go to the pile, turn over a card, and I guess you turn over 3 cards to see if you can actually make a play. That's interesting. So we'll still have to figure out how to play solitaire. Let's see if I can quickly. Do I need to put a property? Do I need to put a property in the card object? Let's see, where is card defined? I can put a property in the card object, a color property. This dot suit color. So leave that undefined. And then if it's this, if it's that, and in generate suit, I will have to do that in generate suit. Suit is getting passed in. How would I do this? I would have to have this except color. Generate suit. Red. Red. Black. Black. And then I could change the constructor to accept color. And then I come back up here, suit value, suit color, equals suit color. Okay, now that I have that property, I could come back up here. And when I'm doing this, I can say, if it's face up, then I can say the same thing. I can set a style. Inner dot, I can say dot style dot color equals data card dot suit color. Let's see if that works. Yeah. And so that just gives us a quick indication. Oh, wow, we have one that we could, well, no, because same suit is ascending, but we do have an ace that we could build a foundation with. We have an ace that we could build a foundation with. Is there any other play? 4, 2, 5, 7. Nope. But we can build a foundation. And then we could, yeah, I have to read through the rules again. But we're actually getting more of a game. So cool. Now all that did was get something up on the screen. Get the tableau represented, which is cool. I'm gonna, since we're at about an hour and a half here, I've been keeping the videos about there. I'm gonna pause, finish my munch, and do a little stretching and try to get one more session in for today, and hopefully that session will be to set up the foundations, because I still have to define even the data models for those, and then even the stockpile, because the stockpile will be made up of all the cards that are left. And so I'll have to deal with, I may want to do the stockpile first, because the stockpile will take more effort, because I got to figure out how to I'll have to move the cards into the rest of the cards into some like, I guess, an array or something. But that'll be for the next session. Making progress. Oh, let me go ahead and push my changes. I'm gonna say tableau represented in HTML, generated by JavaScript. Suit color added to card class to add clarity to gameplay. Okay, commit that and push it. Alrighty. So, I'll be back in a little while.